Edgers with Shauna, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome to my Tuesday tutorial. I'm going to be making some cards today using the Simply Elegant Specialty Designer paper. They're going to be similar to the ones that we made on my VIP group just yesterday for Mystery Card Monday, but they're just a few little different variations on it, and one of them will be a stepped up variation. So some ideas for if you have some Simply Elegant or other designer series papers hanging around and you need to have some ideas to use it. Hello to Pam. Hi there. Great to see you. I think Glenda's watching too. Hello, hello. Okay. Oh, you can hardly hear me. Oh, I wonder why that is. I don't know if it has something to do with the sound on my phone. I'll let you have a guess as to what's in this box while I see if I can fix the sound on my phone. Let's see here. What's going to happen? Am I going to turn you off when I start playing with the sound? I don't know if that's going to help or not, but we'll give it a go. Oh, you have that paper, Glenda? Yeah, it's very lovely. And June, July, August are kind of wedding and anniversary months. I mean, there are wedding and anniversaries all year, but especially in the summer. So it's great paper to have on hand for that right now. Oh, I'm glad that helped, Darlene. Gee, yeah, I didn't know if that would make a difference or not, but that's good to know. And I'm going to hook up with my earbuds shortly, and they have a microphone, which will make things probably even better. I got some happy mail today. This was pretty nice. About 2 months ago, I registered for Stampin' Up! Leadership Convention, and the Leadership Convention is going to be virtual again this year. It's the last week in August. And after, it's so long ago that we register, you kind of forget about it. I mean, it's on my calendar and I know it's coming up, but then Stampin' Up! Sent us some goodies in the mail, and I'm not allowed to show you what's inside the box right now. But once the convention starts, I can. It's just that they don't want other demonstrators who maybe haven't received their box yet to accidentally see this on my video by mistake and then be disappointed and spoil the surprise for them. But there are some fun little things in there, and it sure perked me up because I don't know, I was not moving very slowly this morning. I was, getting out of bed is not my strong suit, and today was just a really bad day. So this was nice, and it cheered me up and got me going a little. So I'm going to turn the camera down, and I'll show you a little bit more about these cards from Mystery Card Monday, and then I'll share with you my variation with the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper. So here we go. Okay, the camera is just going down. Something like, hopefully about like that should be close. Yeah, I think that's got it. And there we go. Got the earbuds hooked up too, so the sound should be a little bit more consistent now. And I'll get my iPad turned around so that I can see if any comments or questions come through. Did anyone else see this? The Masked Singer. This one really tickled me. I thought it was so good. Oop, got to get my nippets ready just in case I need them. I can already tell here again, as soon as I go to talk on video, my voice gets kind of froggy. Yeah, I thought this was so funny. And The Masked Singer, funny enough, has been one of our favorite family shows for the last year and a half or so. It's just been really fun for all for all of us in our family to watch and try and figure out who's behind the mask and see as it goes from week to week. So this one really tickled me and I couldn't resist sharing that. So hello to those of you who are just hopped on. Hey, Emmy. Just to let you know, for those of you who are new, that I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, and the things that I make tonight, the products that I use to make my cards, you can get from my online store, which is stampventures.stampinup.net, and I do have a host code for the month of August. And I still haven't fixed my little, I have not fixed my little blurb about a little gift with, it's over $80. That didn't work out very well. That was a pencil. There we go. The black. Orders over $80 that use the host code will receive embellishments of the month that I'll mail out to you. And there, yeah, there's my throat. It's going. So I'm going to have a Nippets. Nippets is a pure licorice pellet. It clarifies the voice and clears the throat. There we go. Nippets. Brought to you by Simpkins, established in 1921. Okay, let's see if this helps. Okay, so those of you who guessed before my video started which piece of the designer paper I was going to use from the Simply Elegant pack, it's this one that I decided to go with, because this is the most worthy of being a standalone piece of designer series paper on the front of a card. But they are all extremely beautiful, and yeah, I took a good hard look at all of them. This one I was looking at kind of looks lacy, and I was wondering about, oh, maybe the angels, the Christmas angels would go with this. And yeah, there's just quite a variety of patterns and designs in this. And but I settled on this one. And in case you're wondering what the B-sides look like, here we go. It's blacks and grays and whites and vanillas, and not foil on the other side. Definitely the foil on the A side. Okay, and the cards that I had created for Mystery Card Monday, I said there was a slight variation in the two of them, and I'll show you just what the difference was. It's kind of hard to tell just from looking at the front, but when you open this one, you can see the back side of the designer series paper, and then there's your place to write. And then when you open this one, the designer series paper is attached to the second layer of cardstock there, and there's your place to write on that layer there. So it makes, depending on if you want to be able to see the other side of the designer series paper, I really quite like that. But if you want to have your front layer of your card just a little bit more firm and sturdy, then you can do it that way. And I'm going to show you some variations on both of those. So first of all, I'm going to pull out some of the supplies for the card that I'm demonstrating tonight. And those who watched saw my mystery card challenge on my VIP group saw that we started with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper, and then you can score it at 4 1/4. Ooh, I better be careful to get that's the cutting blade. Got to get that out of the road. Score it, the light colored scoring blade, and then I'm going to cut it off at 5 1/4. And that's just a scrap paper I can move out of the way. So, basic idea was, you've got this little flap and then you can attach the different pieces to it. So I'm just going to glue these two pieces together, just like this. And I think with this design, I don't think there's any up or down because the flowers and their stems are going in all different directions. So I'm just going to go in this direction like that. So I'm gluing this onto, it's a 5 by 3 3/4 piece of designer paper, and it's being adhered to 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of copper foil paper. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to adhere this to the base of my card. I feel like I need to have some white behind my card because it's seeing the edges of my black card base against the black mat is tricky. So I want it to be on the 3 sides, here, here, and here, about the same distance from the edge of the card. So, I think I still have to straighten up a bit, but I'm going to put some, let's get this seal going there, some seal there at that edge, and then I'm going to put some at this edge, but I don't want to go right up to the top because the copper cardstock is just a little bit shorter than the card base. Now, here I'll do the check again for my edges. Let's see, like that, about the 3 edges, pretty close. Yep, there we go. And so then I'll just shut that down like that, and there's the card. Now, what's happening is I've got this big black spot there that I'm not going to be able to write on very easily unless I've got like a white marker or something. So I've pulled in an extra piece of basic white cardstock to have a place to write on the inside. So I'll center that. And I've cut this quite a bit smaller so I know that it's not going to accidentally peek out from behind these front pieces. I think I cut this down to like 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, something like that. Okay, and this goes together pretty easy, and the beautiful designer paper is meant to be the focal point of these cards. That's just, getting us using that paper that we're afraid to cut because it's so beautiful. And then the other thing I had added to the challenge for the mystery card was a little strip of designer paper, but it could be cardstock too, something just to go down this edge and add a little bit of a different look to it. And I kind of don't like, I did this 1/2-inch strip here. That's what I had suggested for a measurement in the mystery card challenge, but I don't like how the lines of the design are kind of uneven. So I'm going to pull out my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim off the extra black on this one side and see if I can even it up a little bit more. Hopefully this is going to work, because it could go wrong too when you're working with, there we go, that's a little bit better. It's not perfectly even, but it makes me feel a little better about it. And that's all that counts. Yes, the DSP is the star of this card, isn't it? The other thing you could do is use a strip of copper foil over here too, and bring out the copper. So, and if you, okay, so what I'm planning to do is to put some silver thread from the Simply Elegant trim around this edge of the card. But I'm thinking that I could use this designer paper, the same design as here, but
but I was thinking that maybe the silver cord would show up a little better when I have this pattern facing up. So, this is beautiful too. If I use this side, you know what? I wouldn't even need to put the silver cord on I wouldn't even need to put the silver cord on if I use this side of the paper. I'm just thinking out loud now and changing my mind. But if I use this side, I think the silver cord, if I decide to use it, it will show up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to go for the opposite side. So you have choices. It's always nice to have options, depending on how much time you have and what, if you're in a hurry and if you're going to the wedding in 10 minutes and do you have time to tie a knot or a bow or a piece of twine or cord around it? Okay, there we go. So I think that's kind of hanging off the bottom. We'll just trim that to just tiny edge there. Okay, now I love this cord. In the package it comes with gold cord and silver cord in the one pack, and I went with the silver because there's silver in there along with the copper. There, make sure I wasn't going overboard with the amount that I was, but I did want to have enough to be able to tie a knot. Okay, need to even this out a little. Whoops, wrong way, other way. So when I was making my knot for these Whimsy and Wonder cards, I remembered something that my friend Tammy mentioned that I thought was just so handy. If you're working with a slippery cord or something that's hard to keep into its place and you don't have an extra person who can come and put their finger in there to hold the bow or the knot as you're making it, you can just take a glue dot, and that glue dot is where I'm going to tie the first part of my bow, and it's going to hold it for me. And I don't usually need someone to hold my bow for me when I'm tying, but I'm going to tie a knot first, because if I tie my bow the regular way, my tails of the bow are going to stick out this way. So I'm going to tie once more, not a square knot, but like 2 half knots. And what's going to happen is it's going to hopefully twist my bow around so that my tails are going a little bit more downwards instead of completely sideways. I know, it's weird. I'm just a weirdo that way. I try. Oh no, it's still going sideways. Anyways, so we were talking with other stamping gals on the weekend for the stamp camp that we had. That you know what? Our bows have the twisties, just like the gymnasts. So there we go. Yeah, it's kind of got the twisties, but that's okay. All right. Whew, I almost need sunglasses. This just keeps reflecting in the light so much. Okay, and then this is going to be just like super simple. I've got a congratulations here, and I've stamped the congratulations with silver. So I'm bringing in the silver from the paper and the silver from the cord, and then the silver embossing powder. And I'll just use some dimensionals to pop that up. And the congratulations came from this set of words, peaceful moments. And I like, this works for really well for anniversaries and weddings. And then the sentiment that could go on the inside is wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. This one would also work nicely for a wedding too. These are the moments we'll look back on and enjoy. So this is a really good, versatile set of words that I kind of go to time and time again. And then the die that I cut the words out with is from this set here. I would have used this die right in the middle, and it's, oops, there's all my extra cuts. When I cut something and I don't end up using it, I save it in the back of my pouch here. It's the Tasteful Labels dies. So that's where that slender piece here has come from. Okay, and thanks for your lovely comments. I'm gonna tuck this off, just something like that. There, and pretty simple, and shows off the pretty paper, and then you still have a place to write on the inside, and yeah, lovely for one of those fancy schmancy kinds of events that we might be taking in for the summer. But now I'm going to do a stepped up version. First of all though, before I show you a stepped up version, I want to show you, here's with another set of our designer series paper, not a specialty one. It doesn't have foil in it or anything, but I think it's called the Beauty of Friendship. And that's where the sentiment came from for that. And for this one, same thing. I adhered the, what's that color? Cajun Craze to the back of the designer paper. And then on the inside, I put a layer of cardstock to write a sentiment or to write a greeting on. And I really, really liked the colors together, the Cajun and the Night of Navy. They just, they made my heart smile. And there, I got my knot a lot better, a lot straighter on that one. This bow didn't get the twisties. But yeah, just a way of featuring our beautiful papers. Here, I didn't use the designer paper strip. I just used the contrasting color of cardstock, that 1/2 inch down the side there. So you have a few options that way. Okay, now we're going to go on to a stepped up version of this, because I was playing around and I was like, oh, what if we could create a bit of an interesting edge along this narrow front piece, this kind of spine area down the side. So here's what I came up with. I took the die from the Edgelit die from this pack. It's called Basic Borders Dies, and it's this one right here. And as you notice, I didn't do like a strip of anything extra down this edge here. I just tied the twine or the cord because I thought with the extra little edging along here, it probably didn't need more to add to it on that side. But then I thought, okay, I want to even step it up some more. So I'm going to show you one more option, and I'll show you how I was able to get this edge along here and step up this card one more notch. So I'm going to pull in my last bundle of supplies here. So just like I did before, I'm going to go, woo, there we go. I dropped my paper trimmer, but it's still all in one piece. Yeah, Karen, that Cajun Craze in Navy, it's a really, really nice combo. I was, but I am a fall girl too. So that's what I do, love those fall colors. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm scoring it again at 4 1/4. And this time, instead of cutting it at 5 1/4, I'm going to add an extra 1/4 inch, so I'm going to be cutting it at 5 1/2. So I'm just making this front folded spine piece just a little bit wider, so then I have room to do some die cutting on the edge. And I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the Big Boss, because when you're using the border die along the edge of the card this way, yeah, it won't go through the Baby Boss like that. So it has to go this way. And I am going to be needing a sticky note to hold this in place. So let's see, how are we doing here? Want to have sort of about the same number of bumps at each end. That's kind of 1.5 bumps. That's kind of, oh, I could go down a little bit there. Something like that. And I want it sort of straight along the edge. And there. We'll hold it in place with the sticky note. Put my other cutting pad on top and let the machine do its work. You're a fall girl too, Karen. Yeah, and it's not like I don't like the other colors. I love, I love pinks and but there's just something about the fall color combinations that are just, can't get enough of. And while we're here, come on, sticky note. Whoa, that really stuck down. So there's the edge of that front piece. So just a little stepped up from this simple card that we started with. I think, yeah, there we go. I do. I've got an envelope. So we're going to be able to have a matching edge on our envelope as well. So if you're going to make a really special card, you might as well go all out, right? So let's see here now. To get this somewhat centered. Let's see, 2 bumps from that edge, 2 bumps from that edge. Yeah, something like that. There we go. They might save the card for a little while. The envelope will probably just get tossed out. So if it's not quite perfect, that's okay. It'll be very close. And I better make sure that that's not hanging out. No, don't want, when you're using your machines, you probably know to watch this, but make sure those edges aren't hanging out and then get hung up in the middle of the machine. Oh, and that made a really nice satisfying snap, crackle, pop as it was going through. Oh, Emmy, you love fall too. Yeah, and I know that the heat can be really, really hard on you. So yeah, I would imagine fall would be a really nice time. It would be very comfortable for you. So there, now we've got a flap on our envelope that is kind of matchy-matchy with the card, and I can move this machine out of the road. There, hopefully, no, nothing falling that time. Good, good. Okay, so bring this back in. And what I decided to do is this time, before I glue the designer paper, the specialty designer paper, onto the copper, I decided that I would die cut a big shape out of it. And I thought, well, then that's good because it's making good use of the copper foil, not covering up all that good copper in the middle. And so the shape that I used was also from this same pack of dies. It's this large one here. Yeah, the Tasteful Labels. And I tried to cut it so that it was like right in the center. There. And there. And then I'm going to want to center this on the three sides, the three edges. Okay. Oh, I should have put my, oh, I gotta be careful here. So I'm gonna put adhesive on this edge and then adhesive along this close edge here. Should have done that first because now I have to center again. Okay. There we go. Yes. Oh, you love winter too, Emmy. Yeah, it's a little bit easier on you, isn't it? Okay. Now, my next plan is, well, when I opened it up, I'm like, yay! Now we get the copper foil edging around this and we get to see the back side of the paper. So I'm going to glue a piece here to write on, and I pulled out a stamp set that's one of our Celebration sets that's available right now as a free gift with a $60 order, Delicate Dahlias. And I really like these two flowers because even though you can use them to fill in the outline flowers, you can use them also on their own, and they're almost like... oh, why do I have such a hard time remembering that name? It's the stamps that have all the intricate darknesses and lights in it. And yeah, you know the ones I'm talking about. So I'm like, okay, well, I could put just a little flower right here on the inside. Yeah, I love how you really get the shading and the darks and lights in that. And again, thank you, Pam. Yes, the distinctive. That's it. Oh dear, I just have to have somebody watching who can read my mind. Yeah, it doesn't say distinctive on the outside of the stamp set. It says it's a two-step. So yeah, that can stamp secondly into there, and that for there, and that for there. But I just love it on its own. And you'll notice the color that I used for stamping was the cinnamon cider. And I decided to go with that because cinnamon cider is really close to a coppery color. And using Versamark and copper embossing powder, you're not going to get the shading like you do with a colored ink pad. The Versamark will, or the embossing powder will just kind of cover it all, and it'll all melt together. It'll look like a flower, but you won't get all that detail in the shading. So that's why I really, with these two stamps here, wanted to go with a colored ink pad. Now I'm thinking, if I had my, if I'd had an extra piece of copper, I could have punched out like a little butterfly or a little dragonfly, something to go over here. I know there's lots of things that you could do with this, so I'll just leave you at that maybe there are extra things that you'll come up with. Now, going back to here, my plan is to wrap some cord around like I did on the last one, but I'm not going to use the extra strip of designer paper there because we've got lots of interest going on with the scalloped edge. At least that's how I'm looking at it. You know, everybody looks at things just a little differently, and I'm going to do the thing again with the glue dot. Just tying with the glue dot to help me hold this in place. We'll see if I can get my bow going the direction that I want it to go this time. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this piece that's in my left hand and I'm going over the one that's in my right. And if you do a square knot, then the opposite thing would be to take this piece in the right and go over the left. But what I want to do is I'm going to go the same way as I did again the second time round, because then that's going to turn, instead of making my knot square and straight to the cord that's already there, it turns my tails, and then it makes it go sideways. It makes it go perpendicular to the cord, and then I can make my bunny ears and have my tails going down. Yay, that worked that time. Didn't get the twisties quite as bad. So that's what I was trying to do that first time around and didn't have it work. Okay, so then because I've got this piece left, I'm like, ooh, we can step it up. We can put congratulations onto, yeah, we won't throw any of these pieces away, and put the congratulations onto the extra copper die cut. And kind of got my papers all going at an angle, so I don't know if that's helping me to get things on straight, but, and oh, what the heck, we'll use some more dimensionals here and get this really popped up and make it a wow. So yeah, it's kind of fun how you can make these cards as simple or as stepped up as you would like. I know there are more things that you could do along those side edges there, and but that's just one way to get you started with some of your papers that you've got on hand. So there we go. Oh, you know what else I was going to do? I could stamp on the envelope too. So there's our envelope that's got the matching edge to the edge that's here. And I'm going to take the big dahlia and some more of the cinnamon cider. Oh, you can see as I'm inking it just like this how nice it gets with the distinctive looks to it, the shading and the dark and the light. Better be careful not to get that on my envelope. I'm just going to go right here in the corner. Oh, I should have put my foam mat underneath. Well, hopefully I have pushed hard enough that will show up. Oh, yay. Oh, I really like the shading in that dahlia. I mean, this is pretty, but this to me is amazing. The artist who created that was, yeah. So there we go. What's the name of the dies you used for the edges? Oh, yes, Glenda. They are the basic borders dies, and they just came out with them in the annual catalog in, when was that? June or whenever, May or whenever the annual catalog, the recent one started. So I have found so far, I've used this one and I've used that one and that one. So 3 so far. This one, because it's a little erratic in its design, I'm like, ooh, I have to get brave and try that at some point. It kind of reminds me of clouds, but they're all at different heights. This one I could see layering kind of a curved edge, and this one reminds me of an envelope flap. But and yeah, they all have different kinds of stitching along the edges. So So there we go. We've got just kind of the basic, not too involved, and then stepped up with a little bit of an edging, and then stepped up even more where you've got the cutout to see the back of the designer paper, and an envelope to match, and yeah, lots of fun. And pretty much, I think my mystery card Mondays are pretty much turning into how can we use designer paper this week? Because that seems to be a common thread with everyone who stamps or scrapbooks. They have all this beautiful paper, and they need to know how to use it. So if you don't belong to my Stamp Ventures VIP group, ask me for an invitation, and you can join in on, usually at some time on Sundays. Doesn't always happen, but try to on Sundays issue a challenge with some pieces of cardstock and designer paper, and then on Monday I do the reveal, show my cards, and we make a draw for a little bit of product for someone who has shared their version of the mystery card with us. So, Karen, you remember seeing the cloud edge used by a demo as a template for blending brushes for a sky? Yes, I had my blending brushes out earlier today, and it makes like perfect clouds, and you could layer them. Yeah, that would be really neat too, to do with the blending brushes and the different zigzags as well. But I could see that getting such a soft look with the blending brushes, really, really soft ink with that. So, oh, thanks, Sue. Yeah, you know what? It's the paper. I mean, yeah, it's all I don't know if that you could do anything wrong with this paper. Whoever gets cards made with this paper is just going to love them. So, thank you so much for watching my video this evening, spending some time with me. If you do have any questions, give me a shout. And if you don't have a demonstrator here in Canada, I would sure love to help you out. And we'll talk to you another day. Thanks so much. Bye for now.